Bienvenidos al Mr. Franquicia Podcast, el podcast en español número 1 en el mundo maravilloso de las franquicias, conducido por su servidor Rafael Álvarez. Estamos en vivo desde el piso 85 del One World Trade Center desde la ciudad de Nueva York. Así que prepárese que el programa va a comenzar. Greetings, saludos. We are live. Estamos en vivo. Welcome to the Mr. Franquicia podcast, live from the One World Trade Center on the 85th floor. Today we have a very, very special guest. I mean, someone that I know. I've been so lucky to have him as a friend. I know him for quite a while already, but he's a very smart, bright person that has been working very hard. A Latino, un emprendedor increíble. I'm very, I would like to introduce to you the CEO and the co-founder of Tres Payroll, which is the first Latino payroll platform in the United States. My friend, thank you, Gustavo Suarez. Welcome, my friend.
Impresionante toda la, and I have to switch to English.
That's right.
And that happens usually at home. My wife speaks only English, and with my kids we speak English and Spanish, so it's crossed all the time. But anyways, thank you so much for the invitation. I have so much energy after the merengue that we were listening, connecting culturally.
Yeah.
So thank you, Rafael, for having us here.
No, definitely. Thank you for taking the time, for accepting my invitation. And I always enjoy it and have a great time when I have a live guest here, someone in person, compared with having it remotely, right?
Absolutely.
Through a video conference. So welcome. Let me stretch you out, my friend, because I cannot do this
through Zoom.
That's right, through Zoom. I cannot do it through Zoom. So this is great. And what about that view, my friend? What about that view? Oh,
I'm literally trying to keep myself together, but the moment that I just walk and saw the building, 103, 104 floors.
105, I believe, at the total.
It's crazy. And then you walk to the elevator, everything, and then the views. I'm trying to keep myself calm with this beautiful and outstanding view.
No, definitely. So I know that you are not from New York City. You came all the way from Houston, Texas, and it's always a pleasure to have you here in the city. And also, maybe I should really start by thanking you for sponsoring and participating in an event that we just organized a couple of weeks ago here in New York City, and you came to support us. That event was Franquicia Fest, the first Latino, the biggest franchise expo in the U.S. We did it at the Marriott Marquis Hotel in Times Square, and your company was one of the exhibitors, Tres, Payroll. So I want to thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Well, actually, I'm getting a little confused here because I'm like, who's thanking who? Like, we left the convention with this feeling of thank you for giving us access to the franquicias conversation. It's not that I don't want to be part of the franchise business. It's just that I didn't have the opportunity years ago that someone will bring me into the conversation so I can get educated as a Latino and understand the huge potential that is in this industry. So it's a great contribution to the economy overall.
But a buena hora. I mean, you guys have a great platform. We're gonna be talking about it in a few minutes. But before I do that, I always like to start by getting to know our guests. I mean, I would like people to get to know who really is Gustavo Suarez. Where you come from, my friend? Where were you born? Where were you raised? Tell us a little bit more about your background.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was born in Bogota, Colombia. I don't know if I was made in Bogota, but for sure I was born in Bogota. And then that was the first 17 years of my life until I migrated to the United States.
Wow, fantastic. So you did I guess you grew up in Bogota. You went to regular primary school, middle school. You went to high school.
Absolutely.
So you finished high school there. You didn't do high school here.
I did not finish high school. Usually when you migrate at that age,
you didn't go to the prom here.
Well, they told me, Gustavo, don't say that you finished already high school in Colombia because I graduated at the age of 15. So even at 17, I could still sign up as a high school student so I can learn English. But then at the end, I was like, no, yeah, I'm just gonna take ESL classes and continue my path from there.
Fantastic. So then, what was your first job here? When you came to the United States? You came by yourself with the family. I mean, how was that experience?
So the first job, I mean, I think that when you don't have any job offers, you create your own job,
Correct.
and that's what we do as immigrants in the United States. So I remember I grew around music, so I learned instruments and whatnot. So I was playing at the masses. So I was not getting paid at the Catholic Church to play at the mass, but once in a while they were telling me, Gustavo, there is a wedding, Gustavo, there is a baptism, Gustavo, there is this, and then I was earning, that was my first few dollars in the United States, how I earned some money. And a few weeks after I migrated, I started my first I was involved in my first business venture.
So you came by yourself here to the
Yeah.
United States? Wow.
Yeah.
That was must be painful leaving the whole family over there.
A few, I remember, like if it was yesterday, it was on September 2004,
Okay.
meaning what, few months after, what happens? Holidays.
Oh yeah.
Christmas,
Yeah.
New Year's,
Yeah.
and imagine, being by yourself. So this is a great moment for everybody who's watching and who's listening.
Yeah, I don't nostalgia.
Take a little brief moment to remember that first Christmas, the
Yeah.
first New Year, and knowing that there is a reason why you're here and why you migrated to this country.
So I always like to say I'm also an immigrant. I came to this country. I wasn't born here, but I like to say that we immigrants come with knowledge, full of a lot of dreams, right? Always ready to conquer the world and one day achieve the American dream. So tell me some of those dreams. I mean, that you really came. You came. What were you really came for here?
So I think there is a misconception that when we say I wanna build wealth, that our goal as entrepreneurs is just money and money and money, 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 money. But in reality, money is not really our goal. We wanna create jobs. We wanna take a project from nothing when nobody else believed on that project and make it into something. We wanna make our moms, our dads, our abuelitas. We wanna make them proud. We wanna make our friends from childhood proud. We want to be a great example of values and principles for our community in the next generation. So I can continue the list,
Yeah,
but
of course,
big
of
picture,
course.
that's what it is.
So what was your first business venture here? What was your first business that you established?
So in Texas, we call it 99-cent store, but I think here in New York, they call it La Bodega.
Yeah.
So it's you have 99-cent items. It's very tiny, very small, but and then you sell also the phone cards. I remember that was a big segment in the business, and my job was basically to make sure that we had inventory, to run all of the finances, operations, Excel sheets, and clean the floors, the shelves, and make sure that everything was organized. So wearing all the hats when you get your first and all your business ventures.
So that was your first job.
That was actually my first business venture.
Or your first
Yeah,
business venture?
yeah. I called my dad and I'm like, hey, dad, I need some money.
Yeah.
We're gonna potentially buy a business and whatnot. At the end of the day, it was a family member who
He
funded
he
it,
supported you?
but then Gustavo was there. That's take it from here.
So they help you with the money?
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, I was fortunate, but not on the second one.
Okay.
On the second one,
You were
then
your
it was my entire, like my actual mom and dad, their entire family lifetime money.
okay.
They sold properties, everything, boom, 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 and they send me all the money. They say like this kid is gonna be somewhere.
So for how long you did the first one? How long you ran it?
Probably about a year, and then we sold it and got a return from it.
Okay, good.
So once you do that, you're like, I know everything about business. I don't need to go on. I don't need to do an MBA. I know everything. Wait, it's like wait.
So how long it took you then after you sold the first one to launch the second one?
So I actually got a job after, and I remember they asked me, what are your skills? And I'm like, I know how to clean, how to wash, how to vacuum, how to use computers. I'm here to have fun and to learn and to work. How much you want to make? I Whatever you want to pay me. So like I started in that company, and next thing you know, they wanted to build a franchise system. Very interesting. I just realized that, and we ended up buying one of the locations, and then they didn't really have the tools for a franchise, so they never got I think about 4 stores, which that goes to the point that you got creating a franchise is not just going and getting people to buy locations and it, it's another business. It's a
Yeah,
completely different business. So anyways, unfortunately we got into this venture, and unfortunately because of the business, the financial outcome, that my family lost their entire funds
wow.
under my management. So that was very heartbreaking. But because of that, I think we built the cause and what we're here today.
Well, it makes you a better person.
Absolutely.
You became you gain experience. You don't buy experience. You have to earn it, right? You have to go through it. But tell me something. At the same time that you were launching and running these businesses, were you in college? Were you in school? How that was? How do you handle that?
Technically, I was, and that was my actually my the reason my dad said you're going to the United States, but you're going to get your education. And in Colombia, it is not even a question for you to get a college degree. Same with many countries in Latin America. But I was signing up for classes. And guess what? You're running a business. You're thinking about Friday. I don't have any money. I'm broke. I'm negative. X amount of thousands of dollars in the bank accounts. How am I gonna figure this out? Just imagine how are you gonna deliver it on your homeworks and projects. And so I was failing every single class.
So, which what degree did you graduate from college?
So I started with business, and then I think I did accounting a little bit. And anyways, all of that collapsed. And it got to a point that I say, ya no más. Enough is enough. Then I went, and thanks to a mentor, I signed up into an engineering school, and I became a petroleum engineer from the University of Houston.
Petroleum engineer. Wow, that's interesting.
It is.
With what intention? To, I guess you wanted to go back to Colombia and work in that field, or stay here?
So I was very fortunate to find this mentor. It was actually because of my dad. He worked with him, and he's an executive, a global executive in the oil and gas industry. And then I was this kid that wanted to just take over the world. And I told him I want to be part of the oil and gas business. I want to do business. And he said, okay. Probably he was testing me. You truly want this? Go and learn the nature of the business, and the nature of the business is petroleum engineering.
Wow.
So he probably thought that I was just
Yeah.
bluffing, and
Yeah.
next thing you know, we get it done.
Wow. So you got a degree, and then from there you got a job in that field, or you got a job, or you just continue focusing on building your own businesses. How do you handle it?
So I work for actually one of the largest drilling companies in the world, and then that's when I realized that I had some type of leadership skills. Like a week after I started working, they told me, Gustavo, yeah, I think that you have what it takes. Do me a favor, go fire 20 of the welders. And I say,
Wow.
I don't even know these people. They have, like, figure it out. You have 24 hours to do it. We need to cut. So they saw something, and then after that, they assigned a rig, an oil and gas rig. It was construction of rigs under my site, and then I finished that job. They wanted to take me. They offered me to a job in Saudi Arabia, and then I say no. I mean, I have also business here in the United States, the family. So I took the chances on my entrepreneurial career, and here we are.
Wow. So I noticed. I know that you and I met. I met before or while we were during the. We're part of the Latino Business Action Network, the LBAN program. You want to talk about that?
Absolutely. As I always mention, people ask me, like, Gustavo, what do you think? Should I do it? And I'm like, you gotta be very careful because it's a very dangerous program. I said, what do you mean? Well, it's the top 3% of Latino entrepreneurs throughout the United States, and it is dangerous because it will transform your life, your personal life, and your business life for good. But not just in a slight transformation. The more you put into the network, the more you invest, it will completely change the perspective for good and enable you to build national, if not global companies.
No, definitely. This is what Gustavo is making reference to. It's just the Latino Business Action Network program at Stanford University. When you go, and this is at the business grad school at Stanford, so it's a special building, a special little, campus. It's interesting, the dynamic, because when you look at that, campus and the whole the whole environment. I don't know. It's like I like to say, when I went to Stanford, it's like you can breathe progress. Every time you take a breath, you go.
Yep.
You can feel the atmosphere. It's so heavy of of technology, of business, trying to find the next thing, and it's that mindset that really can inspire. That's a very magical place, isn't it?
Absolutely, and the humbleness of the people and the community. Everybody is like, "Oh, you're a human. I'm a human. We're the same level." But then the ideas and putting people together to build companies like Uber, Facebook, Lyft, and the list goes on. It's that heart of technology from all over the world.
Tesla. I mean, I remember taking classes there. They used to talk a lot about the PayPal mafia. You the PayPal mafia. So what is this PayPal mafia thing that everybody's talking about? Let me figure it out. And then the professor say, oh, yeah, they all came from here. That was the group of students that created PayPal, sold it, and now they're all multi billionaire. Most of them. Elon Musk came from there. The kids that created YouTube.
Steve Jobs presented his first computers literally at Stanford. So I resonate with you. I used to walk at Stanford, the Stanford campus, and every time I go there, I go for a walk because it's like you breathe ideas and creativity and curiosity, and yeah,
No,
it's magical.
amazing. No, it's really magical. As a matter of fact, I was there recently with my daughter, my youngest daughter. She's trying to enroll in, she applied to Stanford. We did a whole tour of three colleges in California. Went to University of San Diego, UCLA, and also Stanford. Let's see what happens. You never know. I mean, but definitely, we are very lucky to be able to be part of that program. And the key here now is to be able to keep telling people that to promote it. The goal was to identify successful Latino business owners like us that we're generating over $1 million, and the idea is to teach us how to now take that million and convert it to 10 million into 100, and 100 million into $1 million, which is very, very, very interesting. But besides the Stanford program, I noticed that I remember when I met you, you also were involved in an accounting, bookkeeping, tax preparation company. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I founded JPG back in 2006, and it was after understanding that all of these failures that I accumulated over the years building traditional small business, now it was my time to give back. So telling families literally don't do that business because of A, B, and C. For example, you never been part of the restaurant industry, you never cooked, and then you're launching a taqueria because you see a taqueria that is successful. So just being able to give that advice
Is that it?
is yes, just being able to give that advice to small business owners to guide them, then it really filled my heart and creating that impact in families. So that's how JPG was born. And today we have actually several clients from Elvan, which makes us very, very, very proud. And we manage their finances. And I say we manage, but we'll talk about it in a moment. But I was forced to migrate from JPG. So JPG now it's its own entity. And so far they're doing a great job, the entire team and the a group of executives.
No, definitely. I know. I noticed also at one point, a point you mentioned to me that you also had a team. What is it? You built a team in Colombia that is also doing most of the work or doing some of the work or the teamwork.
And before the pandemic, they're like, "What do you mean? You're gonna do my accounting in another country?" Like, absolutely not. And I'm like, "No, wait a second. The largest four accounting firms in the world, they have global talent.
Yeah,
Just now we have access to where we can afford it as small businesses. And then after the pandemic, everybody's like, oh, so it became a norm to hire nearshore and offshore for accounting practices, but we've been doing it way before the pandemic.
Well, congratulations. I like the website. I like the flow. Really looks pretty cool. But I noticed, yeah, you've been so basically. How long you been running this company?
So 2006, I would say 7 years.
7 years already. Wow, went by pretty quick.
It went by very, very quick, yes.
So then from here, maybe it's time for us to talk about your new
The new venture, the new baby.
the new project. I mean, well, first of all, so people don't know, tell us what is it? What are we talking about here?
Where do we start? I'm gonna start like this. I'm gonna say that this baby was incubated and was it gave birth from the LBAN program from Stanford.
Yeah.
So because of that, one conversation took to another, and I'm like, oh, these people are talking about technology, and I've been running businesses in a traditional fashion, meaning profits, you save, you reinvest, you don't take vacation, you also do some cuts in the personal life. Maybe you start having a good lifestyle, but you can't really grow and scale.
But I remember that we did an event in my house. You remember that when we celebrated Mark Madrid's 50th birthday, and we did a group of Elven. I remember when this was not even a reality; it was just an idea, and everybody we gave all the Elven alumni to go up to the stage that I have in my house to.
And I was the first one. I say, if you don't throw yourself under the bus,
yeah,
then this is never going to happen. And you're entirely right. This was the first time that I announced it publicly, and I say we are going to launch the first US Latino payroll platform. And that was a moment that I say, what did I say here? But if I say it and I don't deliver, then I'm going to look back bad in front of all of our friends here, and I'm not going to tolerate that. So that was actually in your house. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. So the company we're talking about is Tres. Tres is the first Latino payroll platform in the United States, believe it or not. There are many payroll companies out there for sure, but to see a group, for me, I'm so excited to see a group of Latinos that has been able to really build this amazing platform to be able to provide payroll services to many companies. And especially to know where you come from and how the whole idea came up. And I remember in my house, I mean, we just happened to have an event, and I gave you everybody go up to the stage and just talk about your new projects, whatever idea you have, anything that you launch in, any services, products, whatever. And people were talking about amazing, projects. But I think that you were really shy. I noticed, but look where that is taking you. I mean, this is the way you start idea. Everything starts with an idea, and then from there it develops until look at the way. So where are you guys at? Let's talk about Tres. Where I know that you have a great team. I know Artur Garcia is part of your team. Tell us about the team. Tell us about the project. How you guys are able to take the company so far where it's at.
Yeah, so I want to actually mention, and it is okay that I came from traditional businesses and then transition into tech, because tech is that accelerator that will help you scale a company in ways that not any other methodology in business can do. So when I first started with this idea out of this group of Latino entrepreneurs at Stanford, then I say I need to recruit now our Unicore co-founder, because it is okay. Gustavo does not have all the talents, so we need to find that complement. And then when I was able to find that person, he's like, no, get out of here. And that was Artur Garcia. He's like, no, that's not going to happen. We're not going to compete against billions of dollars of companies' budgets in the payroll space. And he was consulting for one of the large payroll companies. And it's very interesting because he had about 20 clients that he was about to send. And he asked, do you guys have a contact for Spanish speaking, so I can send my 20 Latino owned businesses to you guys? And they say, no, and we're not interested, or some, along those lines. He picked up the phone, he called me, and he said, Gustavo, I'm in. And that's whenever, conversations started getting more serious and whatnot.
Interesting. Very interesting. So you guys are having actively raising capitals, building this platform. What is that at? This is ready to go already? It's already...
Absolutely. If you're watching this video and if you have employees or you pay contractors, go to the website, tres with a z.co that is shown on the screen, and we will love to have you as a client. And what we're doing here with our product, Rafael, and this is what's fascinating, we're adding a very, very intentional ingredient, and it's providing a world-class onboarding experience and a world-class user experience, showing to our Latino workers, over 35 million Latino workers in the United States, that we care via our product. We're going to hold hands with you. We're going to help you with the payroll mandates, with all the compliance. You don't need to know all of this. We'll help you, and we're here for you. And this is something that if you do it from your heart and you can show it in technology in your product, nobody can compete against that.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. So
It's live.
it's live. It's working.
Our payroll is being paid from there.
I imagine. Yeah, that's good. That's good to know. And what about where are you guys? Where are you in New York City? Why don't you tell our audience why are you in New York City?
So we're based in San Francisco to answer your prior question. I am based in Houston, Texas. Our startup is based in San Francisco, in the Bay Area. And we are here because we're about to kick off the Hispanic Heritage Month. And this is something
Here in New York City.
we're here in New York City. And oh, look at this. Now this looks like Christmas.
Like a Christmas tree, right? Look when the city light up.
And
Look at Empire State Building. Oh my God! What
wow. Yeah. No, this is inspiring. And then we're going to have our billboard at Times Square. One of those huge screens. And Times Square is just a magical place that those who haven't been in Times Square just gotta be there. Latino payroll platform will be representing to kick off with our Tres ad and to kick off the Hispanic Heritage Month.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Congratulations. Let's do a round of applause. I mean, come on. That is huge. That is really huge. Times Square. Wow. That's the heart of the world, I guess, you know. But I'm happy for you guys. I'm very happy for you. I mean, you guys putting a lot of work, a lot of energy building this up. And where you guys at in terms of I know that you guys have been raising capital. You have a lot of investors. You still open for investor in case somebody's watching this and say, "Wow, I would like to invest in this."
Absolutely, and I'm super new in the tech space, but it's been a fascinating experience because every time anybody told me, Gustavo, no, don't do this right now. You're not going to be able to raise capital. I'm like, okay, challenge accepted. Let me put that in my pocket and let me prove you wrong in a good way, an inclusive way. And we started raising $800,000 for our pre-seed round, and we actually got it to 1.2. Are we still taking money? We'll be okay closing it at 1.5, but we're not actively looking for investors. We want investors that actually can add rather than just money. And that's something that I advise if you're raising capital. You want investors that can open doors to channels to grow their experience, their expertise into the round. Good thing to mention as well is that we were selected at one of the two global tech accelerators, Techstars, and we went through that program. They actually have also 6% equity in the company, powered by JP Morgan, and that was also huge. It was a huge validation, and we've been getting a lot of support also from this community.
Are you going to Latitude again? Are you participating on that matchup?
I bought my swimming shorts already. Have you? I'm ready for Latitude. Yeah. So we're not part of the matchup this year. We're super proud of all of the companies that actually got into that program, but we will be part of the conversation overall.
Okay, that is fantastic. We'll definitely be there, supporting you, supporting all the new tech company. I noticed there is a significant number of them that are going to be part of the Stanford University, program. So that's good. All of that is fantastic. All of that is great, and I'm very happy and excited for what you guys are building. And once again, I really want to thank you for supporting Franquicia Fest and supporting. I know that you guys are. Why you guys are so interested in the franchising industry?
Again, I think Latinos, we need to be added to the conversation. There was no way in the world that I can understand the franquicias business, the franchise business, if nobody brought me into a conversation. Once we're added to the conversation, then you're like, okay, wait a second. This means that instead of me selling to business 1, 2, 3, and 4, I can sell to one, and this one has 500 locations over the United States, meaning that I do expansion just at once. That's franquicias. That's the franchise business. Yeah. But again, we need to be included as Latinos so we can close the gap, the socioeconomics gap, and bring more opportunities for others.
No, definitely, and I'm glad that you were able to participate at the Franquicia Fest event, which is really a showcase of being able to connect all of these great franchise brands, all these franchise brands, and also suppliers like you, like your company that was there, connecting with the Latino community. to be able to embrace all of that, energy. But also, I should also mention that the Latino Franchise Association is also working and collaborating with you guys. You guys request to sign some kind of partnership agreement also to continue promoting, and you guys have become a member of the Latino Franchise Association, which is also important and supporting, what we are doing, promoting the franchising business model across the nation within the Latino community. I mean, franchising, it is like a foreign language for the Latino community.
Absolutely.
Latinos don't understand it. They don't get it. So we have a huge responsibility of keep promoting it. But you're in the right track, and you are really hitting the right target by being able to connect, because there'll be a lot of Latinos are now gonna create with what the Latino Franchise Association is doing. Just so you know, there'll be a new wave of franchisors that are coming into the industry. Many of them have very profitable businesses that will be converted into a franchise brand, and they'll be able to replicate the model all over the country. Those are great potential clients, I guess, for you guys. But also, is who you know. I mean, though they are already significant number of existing franchise companies that when they see the quality of the services that you provide, when they see, what you guys are all about, eventually they might be able to give you some business and you take it from there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it also has to do with the mindset. So a lot of times we're like, okay, I wanna get a little piece of that. But then when it comes down to contributing, a lot of times we're like, okay, well, I'll see you. And I think this case is it's very important that we can unite in the vision, in the purpose, right? Who we are representing, that this is beyond us. This is actually something that will help continue to grow not only the Latino community throughout the United States, but also it will continue to bring prosperity to the American economy. So once we understand that, it's our job to contribute and to also learn. Like I understood the very little I know about the franchise business is that it is another business. Just because you're successful in this business,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that you're like, oh, okay, easy. Let me go ahead and sell 100 locations and they're gonna be successful. Which is how I was sold I mean, it wasn't really a franchise. The name was a franchise, but it was never even a legal franchise entity.
Really?
And that was back in 2005, but 2006. No training, no procedures, no nothing. It was like, you're using my name, you're gonna pay me 6% from all your sales.
Wow.
So it is important to understand the difference and to surround yourself by organizations that will say, well, these are the standards and these are the boundaries.
Well, at least now the Latinos now have a new entity in their corner that they can rely on, that they can really embrace, and they'll be able to get educated. They'll be able to learn more about the fantastic business opportunity, the value proposition that the franchising, business model can provide to them. I mean, we Latino, we own. You know how many Latino businesses are right now? I know that you know the numbers
Yeah.
because you're going after them.
That's our market. So, quick numbers: we have over 5 million Latino businesses in the United States. We are actually growing businesses 10 times faster than a non-Latino segment. We're growing businesses at a 44%.
Amazing.
Yes. And also, we have over 70 million Latinos. Y yo digo, not even well counted, right? Over 70 million Latinos in the United States and over 35 Latino workers in the US.
Wow.
It's greater than the population of many countries most of the countries in Central America for sure, and many countries in South America and in the world. Just the Latino.
No, not only that. I mean, the Latino community in the United States, we're generating. Last year was reported that we were generating $2.8 trillion.
Almost 3 trillion.
No, this morning, believe it or not, I read, because I know the announcement is gonna be official at Latitude, but I believe they're gonna release the numbers. I believe we're hitting $3 trillion, $3 trillion as a community. That if we will be a country, we will be the fifth largest global economy in the world. I mean, that's a lot of power. It's interesting because the number went up from 2.8 trillion to 3 trillion, but we're still at the same spot, the fifth, number 5.
Yeah.
The United States first, then China,
I think Germany.
Japan,
Mhm.
Germany, and the U.S. Latino.
Mhm.
Very interesting, data that is being released. But tell me a little bit more about this. I was surprised to see that you guys are all over the media. What is this?
So yeah, we've been in Forbes magazine, Houston Chronicle, Inc. magazine, Stanford University, and several other media platforms that we're super super honored. But what this means is that we have validation that the Latino community, because of the data that we just disclose, it just shows that Latinos throughout the United States are not only consumers but now are becoming creators. So absolutely the media is saying yes, 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 yes. This is something that has some rhythm in the business model, and they're looking forward to see the results. Like before, Netflix. If you have in the media and the entertainment business, and you don't have actors and actresses that are Latinos or that are minority groups that in reality, when you add them up, are the majority in the United States, then you're missing out. It's not an inclusion conversation, but it's also the right business decision because it hits the profits of the organizations.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. I was trying to open all
There's
this
a,
up.
there is that another one from there you go. That's Houston Chronicle.
Yeah. So this is you guys here, right?
Yes, 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 yes,
That's
yes.
you. That's you.
Yeah, we took over the front cover page, and so that was a surprise. Latino, and normally it's oil and gas, normally it's healthcare, and it's real estate, especially in a traditional city like Houston. And we're proving that we are representing the market.
That is fantastic. Now, switching a little bit more the conversation to going to personal. First of all, congratulations for your wedding. I know you recently got married, and thank you for the invitation. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. I have some personal. Um, I guess my wife's father passed away the exact same day that you were having the wedding, so we couldn't make it. But I hear that the wedding was fantastic. Tell us about it.
Just so we planned to get married back in 2020, then the pandemic happened. In 2021, it extended. 2022, unfortunately, the Russia invasion in Ukraine. My wife Dasha, she is from Ukraine, so we had to postpone again. Then 2023, we said, okay, well, now this has to be our time, and this is something that we can never bring back. These memories. So we threw a festivity, a celebration in Italy in a castle from the 14th century. So we even asked ourselves, are we the first Latinos throwing a party and dancing salsa and doing karaoke and drinking in this castle? Maybe that was a place where we also, we made history. All of us Latinos, and the majority was, Latinos and Europeans and of course Americans.
So it was a very special moment, a very special day for you guys over there.
It was.
Especially, with all the, friends, the guests, the support, the people that came from all over. I'm very, very, very happy and for you guys. I mean, you have a beautiful wife, a beautiful family.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I know that you guys are expecting another baby.
Yeah, October 30th.
October
And
30th.
guess what her name is going to be? Victoria,
Oh,
which is basically it means victory, and that is the victory that the Ukrainian community all over the world is wishing so bad. Hopefully, the conflict and the invasion is resolved soon. So it's in reflection of the victory that Ukraine wants.
So you guys, now that you're talking about your wife and what you guys has been working on, I know that your wife has put together a non-for-profit organization. Let me show it to the people in case the people wants to donate. Tell us about this great initiative for you guys.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, a lot of times when we go to global crisis and situations, we always ask ourselves, and what can I do? And probably the next thought is, what I'm going to do is not enough. So imagine my wife receives a phone call 5 o'clock in the morning. Her dad is saying we are in an underground because there is hundreds of missiles attacking the city. They actually were living in Kharkiv at that moment, which is 50 kilometers in the borders from Russia. So, of course, crisis. Just imagine for a moment you're getting a phone call from your family and hundreds of missiles are hitting the city. And so she immediately started moving with the media, amplifying the voice for the Ukrainian community, for the refugees. And sometimes, we might believe that our actions don't help much, but it does. It does make a difference. It does make a difference in legislation. She went all the way to Washington and then with the UN, the United Nations, to just take the work further to say we need help. Ukrainians need help, and the United States has done a phenomenal job of that.
So this video, this is in Washington D.C.
That video is actually in Houston with one of our members of Congress. That the moment that we called, she was ready to pick up the phone and then help us through the process. And that is my wife. No, I
Yeah,
even
yeah,
feel it was
yeah.
devastating. You can feel the pain.
I know. Imagine. Wow, amazing book.
I don't know how she was doing it back then with all the pressure. The parents were still in Ukraine.
And tell us about the name of their not-for-profit organization and how can people donate if they want to support this?
Absolutely, it is Suarez Foundation with a Z at the end of the last name is Suarez. My wife said this is also my way of contributing to our family. She changed her last name and she said we're gonna do it Suarez, but I say this is not Ukrainian last name. But anyways, it continue in that direction. And anybody that wants to donate $1, $2, all of the contributions that are received in the foundation are going directly to refugee families that are arriving to the United States. And a lot of them, I mean, believe it or not, they arrive, they have babies, they have kids, they don't have diapers, they don't have milk. And sometimes you're thinking, well, my $5 are not going to make a difference. Yes, they do.
Yeah, that is a great cause. That is a great idea. I mean, uh, kudos to your wife and to you also for supporting her. I know that now you are half Ukrainian, believe it or not, right?
That is true. I do understand with that whenever she raises her voice and starts speaking Ukrainian, I'm in trouble.
You're in
So that's
trouble.
my time to just go hide.
Go ahead, go down, relax. Okay. And also, I'm glad that you guys were able to get the support for the congresswoman and the elected officials. They always have an outlet to connect with the media, which is the way to promote it. So, those of you that are watching, the website is Suarez Foundation. Let me see if I can put it on the screen. SuarezFoundation.com.
Mhm.
And And the idea is for you guys to go to the website, see what this is all about, and if you can continue, it will be really, really, really appreciated. Right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It just I mean, anything helps at the end. And look, even if it's not Suarez Foundation, there is always way for us to help. And believe it or not, I mean, there is help needed in our immediate communities. A lot of times, even in our own families, but sometimes the system, work, studies, the family, we get so busy that we forget to realize that we came to this world for a purpose, and if we can improve someone else's life, why not?
Of course, of course, of course. Let me see if I can show the website. I think it is one. Here
There
we
you
go.
go. That is the website, suarezfoundation.com.
SuarezFoundation.com. Just visit, and your donation will be really appreciated. So, my friend, we have to wrap it up. We're running out of time. So, I really, really want to thank you once again for coming well, first of all, for accepting my invitation and for being here live, man. Let me stretch your hand.
Something that we cannot do virtually.
I know it's hard to do this virtually. It's impossible to do virtually. But I always like to have, every so often I have guest here live in our studio at the One World Trade Center, Alligator Future World. So,
Well, it's been an honor and a great experience that if we do not get inspired by this view and just the whole experience from going through the elevator, the lobby today, I don't know what other source of inspiration we can find. And you've been a great contributor for the Hispanic community, the Latino community. Many of us out there, we admire your work. So thank you, Rafael, for everything that you've done.
Well, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for attending our Franquicia Fest event a few weeks ago. And Gustavo, once again, whatever you need, let me know. And this is mi casa es tu casa, cuando quiera.
Muchas gracias.
Projects, any new announcement that you want to make, our outlets, our connections, our contacts are available for you and Arturo and the whole team at Tres Payroll Company. Okay?
Muchas gracias.
Thank you, my friend. So, guys, this is all for tonight. Don't forget to hit like in all our social media platforms. We love to get the support for all of you, so we can give us some comments, send us an email, let us know if you like what we're doing, if you like the podcast and the topics that we are presenting to you. And let's continue connecting and bring you the best of the wonderful world of franchising. That's all I have for tonight. We'll see you next time. Ciao.
Muchas gracias por escuchar nuestro podcast. Esperamos que la información haya sido de su agrado. Manténgase en sintonía. Síganos en todas las plataformas de social media y visite nuestra página en el internet www.mrfranquicias.com. Hasta la próxima.